Babe, I can't believe we're actually gonna have a baby.
Oh, babe, me too. You're gonna make such a great daddy. Everything's just gonna be like so perfect.
Oh yeah, babe, totally.
So, babe, I don't think we're gonna be able to keep the 328 anymore. With the new baby, we're gonna need something bigger.
Really, babe? But isn't a baby only like this big?
Yeah, but babe, we're gonna need room for like a stroller and diapers, and just like all the other baby stuff.
Yeah, you're right, babe. Good point. So like, what should we get? Like a minivan or something?
Oh, babe, you're so sweet. I knew you'd make the right decision.
Okay, I'll start looking for one.
Hey there, dingus. Don't look so glum.
Huh?
So what? You slip on past the goal and you got put into the penalty box. Happens to the best of us. And just because you threw your life away doesn't mean that you have to throw away your dignity too. I mean, come on, man. Seriously? A minivan?
But we need room for a baby, a stroller, and diapers.
Bro, a baby's only like this big. So what if I said you can have a perfect rear-wheel drive sports car with plenty of room for your brat kid, the stroller, and the diapers. And it won't be a maintenance whore like that current douche-mobile that you're driving.
Really? I didn't think that.
Just shut up and watch this, you dingleberry. Hello everyone and welcome. Today is a very special day. I'd like to introduce my good friend Ryan King. Some of you may know Ryan's Toyota MR2 Spider that I did a quick track impression for that didn't last very long before I totaled his rear tire doing a drift. But today we're going to be looking at Ryan's IS300 SportCross and we're going to do a little road impression for it. So Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about this car and kind of your history with it?
Awesome. When this car came out, I was very excited about, not particularly the SportCross, but the IS300 itself. I always liked the Supra, I always liked the 2JZ, and I always thought that was great. I had a Mark IV Supra before, but not before the car came out. When the IS300 concept came out, I was like, fantastic. Finally, Toyota's bringing something to the table to compete with the BMW 3 Series. I was over the moon. And so that was, at the time, I was nowhere in a position where I could buy a new car that was, $30 some odd $1,000. But now these cars are dirt cheap, which is hilarious to me because they're fantastic cars. And they're rock solid reliable, so they make a great daily. They're pretty driftable, which I love because I'm somebody who likes to get sideways. And so I think they're fantastic. They got good audio. They're comfortable. They get the Alcantara interior. They got a 2JZ, so they're pretty moddable. The driveline doesn't really support the power levels that you can make with a 2JZ. The automatic will handle some power, but the manual transmission's a little on the weak side. So if you're gonna boost them, you really have to come up with a solution for that in terms of transmission swap. You either have to do a V160 Getrag, or you have to do R154 out of a Mark III Supra. But that's the plan for this car. I've got a turbo for it. I've got a Swift Racing Technologies Stage 3 kit.
Well, how about let's get it up on the lift. We'll
Yeah.
get up on the lift and we'll give it a technical scrutinization.
Yeah, we'll do some scrutineering.
And I'll let you talk a little bit about kind of some of the development work that
So-
you've done on it.
In preparation for that turbo power, I've done a bunch of chassis development. I wanted to have the car be ready in terms of handling and ride and dynamics before I went and threw 500 to 600 horsepower at it. So this is what we're about to show you, and I'm pretty proud of it. So I hope you check it out and hope you like it.
I'm proud of you too, Ryan.
Good. All right, I want to talk a little bit about the suspension development we've done to this car. Now that we've got it up in the air, I can kind of show you guys around and talk about some of the things we've done. As I said earlier, really wanted to have this car be ready to make horsepower. I'm big on having the chassis development done and the brake development done and having the driveline all beefed up and then adding power. I think a lot of people just have this like big number in their head and they want to hit it right off the bat, and then they have a car that brakes a lot and doesn't keep up with itself. So I'm about balance, and I'm about having a cohesive design that works well together and something that feels like kind of factory. That's important to me. So we did Figs Motorsports mega arm conversion on this car. These are fabricated steel arms that have adjustable length as well as pickup point. So you can actually change the mounting locations of the arms, both front and rear, upper and lower, as well as the end link location, the actual motion ratio of the shock. All of it's adjustable. So this gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of playing with our settings. We've got a Hunter alignment rack here that has win align, so we can actually play with motion ratios of the suspension, tune camber curves, stuff like that, toe curves, bump steer, all that stuff, which is a huge treat. It's something nobody has, and people have it, but professional race teams and stuff have it. Just Joe Schmo like us, awesome experience to have it. We use KW Variant 3 coil overs on this car. So it's got that and Goodrich lines. This setup is spherical. It doesn't have any bushings back here. These are all rose joints. I chose to do that in the back, but not the front, because I wanted to have the accuracy of movement in the rear. I want this car to be pretty predictable at limit and be able to drift around a little bit. And I didn't want it to be snappy and regain traction suddenly and do weird bouncy stuff at limit. So this gives us the accuracy that we're looking for, keeps wheel hop to a minimum. It's a pretty good setup. And with the Lexus chassis, it really isn't that harsh. It's a harsh car, but it's like harsh covered in memory foam and suede. It's really a comfortable car. It's a little harsh, but really it's like an ISF would be or something like that. It's not punishing. We got a limited slip from an automatic transmission car, mounted on Super Pro bushings, again from Figs. So I wanted the rigidity of the mounting points, and that was important, but I wanted the lower gear set from the automatic. This is a manual transmission car, which the SportCross car didn't come with a manual transmission. So we swapped in a manual. I bought a sedan and swapped it. This one's got a Mark IV naturally aspirated Supra flywheel, pressure plate, and clutch, as well as slave. That converts it over to a single mass as opposed to a dual mass flywheel clutch setup, and it's pretty good. It's got Marlin crawler shifter bushings, and I window welded the mount too because I'm a ricer. So we've got, as far as wheel fitment, these are IS250 all-wheel drive wheels. These are 17 by 8 plus 45, and they are really pretty perfect for a kind of a mild street-driven IS300 because they're the widest thing you can fit in the front without a roll, and they allow me to run a 245 40/17 tire on this car without rubbing, without any roll, without any modifications really, aside from the fact that I did a little grinding on what's called the long knuckle on the front on the unequal length control arms. This particular suspension package in this car has a knuckle that brings the upper control arm up above the tire, and so that can interfere with the wheel if on certain offsets of wheels. And you guys can see it's pretty tight if you look at the space here between the knuckle and the tire. It doesn't rub, but like I said, I did have to grind a little casting flash and a little nub off there. But they're pretty flush, and lets me put a 245 in the front of this, which is plenty. So that's basically the undercarriage. The car's driveline-wise, aside from the manual swap, it's basically a stock, and the gear ratio in the diff being a little shorter than stock. It's a pretty stock car. At home, I have that turbo kit we talked about earlier, and so I'll be doing probably an R154 from a Mark III Turbo Supra to beef it up a little bit, and I'll keep this diff because the gear set works okay with the Mark III tranny. Then it'll handle some power, so it'll be awesome. Hope you guys like it.
Okay.
Hey everybody, what's up?
No, I fucking introduce.
Oh, well fuck you.
Start driving.
All right, driving I do. Like fucking, I'm the wheel man, that's all I am to
Just
you.
fucking drive. What's up, guys? We are out on the road here. Ryan's behind the wheel of his IS300 SportCross. And since this is Ryan's private racetrack, if you will, we're going to let him kind of show us around. And
I'm just gonna make Quinn piss his pants.
and
That's
he's
my
gonna-
only job for this whole ride. Is just
Hey, watch
scare
out.
the
This is a
living
fucking
shit
track worker.
Get out of the road!
Go away. Fucking track. You know, we told them that we were coming here.
They
And
were forewarned.
and they're still fucking monkeying around. Ugh. All right.
Seems like a bad idea.
So anyways, we're out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. I have no idea where we are, and I don't know these roads for the life of me, so that's why we thought it would be better to have Ryan, and plus this is his car that he built, so what more fitting way to have Ryan show us around.
So, we talked a little bit about the car and the modifications that are done to it. Now I'm going to give you guys a little overview of the dynamic attributes and try and make Quinn piss his pants.
That's not going to happen. I haven't peed my pants in several years, thank you very much.
That's good. I'm glad you've been working on that, Quinn.
I've had a good streak going for me, you ain't going to take it from me.
I know it took a lot of therapy, but it seems to be an improvement.
So we're on, what are these, Pilot Super Sports 245 square setup.
Yep.
Plenty of grip.
Yeah, so like, the car's pretty neutral. It's got a little bit of understeer on corner entry, but really safe handling car. You can get a little bit of rotation on throttle, especially when you're on a little less grippy tire than this. But yeah, the cars are really pretty. It's an easy car to lean on. You can really trust that it's going to be predictable at limit, and that it's going to do what it needs to do. It's my daily, so I wanted it to be something where I can kind of relax while I'm taking it to the limit just one more time. And so yeah, I think this is a really good mixture of practicality and attackability. This is a car you can take to a track day. You can whale through bumpy shit. This road's really pretty broken and ugly, and the KWs do a really great job of soaking that. I mean, that was pretty large impact, and this thing just took it like whatever.
What the fuck ever.
Yeah, just zero fucks given by the suspension in this thing over these bumpy roads.
It is pretty impressive how well this thing soaks up bumps.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time tuning this thing. Like, just every day I'd go, oh, maybe a little bit more compression dampening, maybe a little bit more rebound, maybe a little bit just fucking with it. And I think it yielded some pretty good dynamic benefits. I'm gonna give this lady a little bit of
let her go.
A little bit of a.
But even like just the way that the chassis itself absorbs the bumps. I mean, for having all poly bushings and spherical stuff, like that's pretty impressive. My poly cars are definitely not that smooth.
Yeah, I think Lexus did a pretty good job of making these cars, supple and smooth and with the NVH.
Yeah.
This is a car that really kind of absorbs a lot of the bullshit.
It's like a cross between like a sports, it follows that line of like sport luxury and sports cars. It's nice. But for a daily, that's good. That's what you want.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty well-rounded thing. This might be a little raw for some people. My mom might not really be like loving the suspension setup in this
Yeah,
thing.
my grandma.
But it's a thing where I like a raw car, and so to me this car is really pretty fluffy for the stuff I'm into. I'm a bikey, and so I like to have a raw experience. I'm usually on two wheels, so this thing doesn't really this thing feels like the pinnacle of luxury as far as I'm concerned, and which I know it's not, but
This guy's probably, what the fuck are these people doing?
yeah, I guess gonna have to overtake.
Man.
luckily,
overtake zone
luckily
right here.
my timing is impeccable.
Look at that.
It's almost like I planned this, Quinn.
Unbelievable.
Give her a little wave so the plate doesn't fly off when we go flying by her. But yeah, this is a car where I kind of built it on a budget, and I built it. The reason I started this build was because my wife was with child. my amazing.
You mean your wife was knocked up?
Yeah, so my wife was knocked up, and intentionally.
Listen,
so
man,
we were planning on having
we can say
a
it
kid.
how we want on this channel. That's the great thing about it. So.
Yep. So my wife was knocked up, and I was like, it's time for me to kind of, show the world that you can do Dadmobile. We've got track worker up here on the right.
Oh.
So you can do the Dadmobile thing in a way that's still entertaining and is still engaging. And you don't have to drive a Chrysler Town and Country to be a dad. You can rock a sporty wagon with a 2JZ in it and really have some good times in it. And
fucking traffic light.
it's a 1-lane road.
What is that? It's like a fucking ad hoc traffic light.
It's on a trailer. It's portable traffic light.
Sorry, I totally just interrupted you there. So you didn't want to do what everybody else in the world does when they're pregnant and get a fucking minivan or something ridiculous
for the money
for
of
their one child.
Yeah, kind of a shitbox Sienna. You could build something that's a 2JZ with some dynamic enjoyment and really have a car that you can be proud of and kind of stands out from the crowd a little bit, but it's a little bit of a Q ship, subtle, and people kind of don't know that somebody who's a complete and utter hooligan drives this car, and so I think it's a good mixture. I think maybe the cops just think, wow, that guy's probably got a lawyer.
He's like, look at that sausage driving down the road.
Sausage. I hope people don't look at this car and go, look at that sausage driving down the road.
That's what it kind of reminds me of. It kind of looks like a big sausage.
Wow. From someone who loves a phallus so much.
I know.
In terms of the styling of an automobile. Someone who's just such a big phallus fan. I can see why you like the SportCross. I've always loved the styling of the IS300. When they came out, I just thought, wow. This is a car that's finally Toyota is stepping up and taking it to BMW a little bit, trying to make a sports sedan, trying to make something that's not a Luxo barge, but is something that you can have some fun and have some slip angle. And
she's sliding down that railing. She was.
Okay. People slide down railings.
I'm sorry, I'm that kid who sees a butterfly and like
Squirrel!
right after. Man, there's some weird people out here. This is pretty.
Yeah, we're up in sticks.
That's mesmerizing.
So I thought the styling of the IS300 was really pretty sharp and pretty unique. I love the gauge cluster. I really kind of like the interior styling of these cars. I like the exterior styling of these cars. I actually kind of think that the sedan is a prettier car, but the SportCross is a little bit more unique, and it kind of fills the role for me a little better. I had a Mark IV Supra before this, and this is kind of a car that really does a lot of the things that the Mark IV did. But I don't have to have all the baggage that comes with having something that's a sports car. I can have a sports sedan and have it be something that's dynamically enjoyable. Arguably a lot lighter than the Supra in certain guises. The Mark IV Supra can be kind of a heavy bitch, and the IS is actually a little bit lighter, while retaining the same powertrain and a lot of the same componentry. Brakes are similar, I think these are great cars.
And it's newer and it's much less expensive too. On top of that.
Oh yeah, I mean these cars are. I think these are fantastic value.
Oh yeah.
The fact that you can have a nice IS300 with a stick for under 10 grand is just awesome. And the fact that if you shop you can have one for 6 or 7 grand is just amazing.
It's definitely an understated car.
There's a premium for the wagon, and there's a premium for a manual. You can't get a wagon with a manual, so you got to build your own. You got to roll your own, and
your own.
But look at the lateral grip this thing provides. And
these tires are too grippy. They're too grippy.
Yeah, so for a daily, I think it's a pretty good good compromise. I do agree. I think this car is a little grippy for my usage. Man, I love the straight six. It's my favorite engine configuration aside from the V12.
It sounds good. And this motor I'm watching like really kind of like livens up after 5,000 RPM or so in that ballpark. It gets hot, a lot noisier. Ooh, a little rev limiter there.
Yeah, I probably should have just stayed in third, but I kind of wanted to make it sing a little bit.
That's all right.
But yeah, real steady on braking, real steady through a corner. Really, really pleasant car to just wail on. Just so like doesn't get upset by anything. It's just flat, like unflappable.
In case you can't tell from the video, this is a very bumpy road.
Yeah, this road's really pretty rough,
And
like
this
even
car's really taking it.
even under like really high cornering or really like big deceleration, it just doesn't get upset. It's really the KWs just work, and I think this chassis just works. I think this is really an underrated chassis. This is a car that you can just buy for dirt and then beat the living shit out of. And I got to tell you, the reliability in these cars is fantastic. I wouldn't go so far as to say abusive, but I drive like we're driving now, basically all of the time. so I don't. You could characterize that however you want to characterize that, but this is like kind of my go-to driving habit, and these cars just don't require any repairs. And maintenance is tires, brakes, and the timing belt every 90.
JGTC every day.
Yeah, you can just beat the shit out of them. I leave everywhere sideways, and like I said, I'm not abusive because I'm mechanically sympathetic, but I
load on everything.
But I do beat the shit out of it, and but I do it sympathetically because I understand the engineering behind things, and I understand what's going to make the car last longer. But that doesn't mean I don't leave like it's an 80s action TV show, because that's to me that's what your daily's supposed to be like. You're supposed to leave everywhere all sideways like your Magnum PI. I think that's part of the fun,
Yeah.
So yeah, this is our little review of this car. I think these are a pretty unbeatable value, and if you're and it's kind of something different. Everybody's got an E36. Everybody's got a Civic, and it really was with the Ricer tax, a nice late 90s, early 2000s Civic is IS300 money, and that's kind of hilarious to me.
I just had a great idea. So let's get this before you do your turbo swap and everything, and we'll benchmark this up against the RX-8. We'll call it like the battle of the two unsung heroes, because I think both are kind of overlooked cars, and they're a tremendous amount of car for such a cheap cost of entry, and they're great dual purpose daily driver / sports cars. So let's get them together, and
I'd be delighted to do that. I think it's going to be fun to whoop your ass and really show off the dynamic benefits of my fucking station wagon.
Bro, I'm gonna eat fuel all over your face. Just dump it out the tailpipe on you.
Yeah, he means burn oil. And Apex seals.
Oh no, I'm deleting that as we speak. That's gone. Oil metering's gone. I'm all about the premix lifestyle.
Nice. I do love the smell of castor oil in the morning.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a two-stroke guy from way back.
I'm gonna be dumping that shit all over your car as we're confused.
I want it to smell like motocross. That's like the biggest selling point for a rotary for me, is that I just want it to smell like castor oil, and I want to hear it go ring to ting ting.
All right. Did our fire drill here, and we'll give you guys a little exhaust noise. Ryan deleted the clutch override in this car. I love that. Save those thrust washers. Inline 6 goodness. Oh man, I'm gonna have to wait a second because I don't want to get stuck behind that camper. So while we're sitting here waiting, and because I probably won't be able to comment too much because I don't know this road for the life of me, and it's raining out, we'll talk a little bit about the cabin in this car. It's actually pretty nice. I mean, being a Lexus, it's got some luxury accoutrements in it. The door panels have suede inserts in like this kind of bluish color. Also the seats as well. It's very nice. I really actually like the steering wheel, and it's got this triple cross-stitch diamond pattern. It's like a whitish, grayish stitching color all throughout the wheel, and that's nice. Nice shape of the wheel, 3-spoke. It's a shame they didn't wrap this in like a true leather, because that would have just like, taken the cake in it. But other than that, nice place to be. The gauge cluster is beautiful. I've always been a fan of the IS300's gauge cluster. It looks like a chronograph watch. So I think that we have a little bit of an opening here, and we shall try to get out and go before any cars come. Now you're gonna have to bear with me because, like I said, I do not know these roads like Ryan does, and it's raining, so we're just gonna keep the pace a little bit more relaxed. So immediately what you notice is that the suspension setup on this, now this is a full poly bushing car, right, Ryan?
Everything that's not spherical, yep.
Oh, all spherical.
It's everything that's not spherical is poly.
Okay, so
From
spherical.
drive differential mounts to everything's poly. There's no rubber in this car.
So everything, yeah. So basically no rubber left in the car, and I probably didn't have the downshift here. The chassis really soaks up the bumps nicely. Compared to my cars that are all poly, no spherical, this they ride a little bit more harsh than this, and this feels really mellow, and just kind of really just absorbs the bumps. You can go fast over bumps. Suspension doesn't really seem to get very upset. Sorry, gotta concentrate a little bit there. A little bit of push there. Rev limiter. And we're, I forgot Ryan has a pretty trick third to fourth shift in this. No clutch. There we go. But that's okay because that's going to get changed soon, right, Ryan?
Yeah, when we upgrade to turbocharging, we're gonna have to do a different solution for the transmission.
So I've been in this car in the past before Ryan put the Super Sports on it, and the chassis had a real nice hoonability to it.
Yeah,
And
much more playful.
you kind of lost that, I think, with the new tire combo on here. I was flat on that second gear. I was just trying to see if I'd even get it in a yaw, flat footing it. And
Yeah, you have to push really hard to get rotation in this car now.
so this is Ryan's daily driver. I don't know if we mentioned that before, but for a daily, this car is quite practical. It has plenty of room. Being a hatch, you have the whole extra room in the trunk, and it's quite comfortable, quite soft. Like, you know, when you're cruising along, it's quite quiet inside, and that's pretty nice. And it's got some athletic capabilities to it. Is this tight?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Good thing I have Ryan navigating for me because I don't know where I'm going. So this is a pretty badass station wagon for a daily driver. Let me try this again. There we go. Dude, that fucking gearbox kills me.
Yeah, the W Series training was just to get the swap done and kind of just ease the transition when I go to something a little beefier.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody to think that Ryan's a half-ass or a hack. I mean, I understand why he did what he did, and that.
Yeah, this car's kind of in development.
Yeah,
it's a rolling.
That's
project,
certainly
you know?
something that's going to get addressed.
I like the surface transition on the exit of that corner. It's gonna.
This is a pretty neat road, man. Like, just trying to feel where the limits are. It's wild going from, you know, not really being familiar with the car, and then going from like dry to like wet pavement, like constantly. I forgot fourth gear.
You didn't want fourth gear.
I didn't want it. Yeah, I thought I wanted it, but I really didn't want it. Good brake feel. You modulate the brakes pretty easily. The brake setup in this feels like it's a lot more frontward bias. I don't feel the rear really wanting to come around under braking. So they're pretty safe. You can be pretty aggressive and have it be okay. Going wet here again. Right. So yeah, this is so what I think is really neat about the IS300 is this is like kind of another one of those unsung hero cars, right? Like I bought the RX-8 for my daily because I feel it's the same way. They're tremendous. It's a tremendous amount of car for such a little cost of entry to get into them. Dude, it's a nice car. Like if you were interested in an E46 BMW, oh yeah, this doesn't work. If you were interested in an E46 BMW, like this is definitely a great alternative. And
I think a lot of people see him as an E46 competitor, but I think this car was really designed to compete with the E36 in terms of dynamic capability and like power levels. It's really more of a competitor for the E36.
Okay, but it has that.
That's what I was cross shopping.
It has that BMW-esque feel to it, so like it's like, you know, it's definitely totally daily drivable, totally comfortable, but like it has that great dual purpose like sportiness to it. And how many miles are on this chassis now?
This one's got 90. So the manual sedan that I had that I bought in anticipation of doing this, I actually put 100 really hard 1,000 miles on, and I bought it with 100. That car with 200,000 miles sounded and felt just like this car.
Yeah, I mean,
there was no depreciation in terms of ride quality or noise, vibration, harshness. The car didn't degrade.
Other than a little bit of noise from the tranny, everything else.
Yeah, the tranny's.
Yeah, so if you're hearing a little bit of rattling, that's just coming from the gearbox. But everything else is very quiet, very sound in here. You can tell there's good sound deadening, and the car's light, right? Was 3,100 pounds?
Yes, sedans are like 3,150 somewhere in there. The SportCross adds about 100 pounds to that. So, this one's had some weight reduction. This one's got no spare in the back. It's got a little bit less sound deadening, which is kind of hilarious because it's still
pretty. Yeah, this is quiet in here.
You know, the under hood, there's like a mat underneath the hood that's taken off.
Yep.
The thing that makes it have DRLs is like a little module you can just unplug and throw in the dumpster, and that turns off the DRLs. Bunch of little things. Just deleted to try and save weight because that's kind of my jam. But
it's good. It's a very good car. Very impressive.
Yeah, these are a great car for people with short money that want a ruggedly reliable car that they can hoon around in, drift around in a little bit.
Yeah,
take to a track day and then have it feel like the same car at the end of the track day that it felt at the beginning of the track day.
If you don't have those super grippy tires on there, you could definitely
much more
asshole this thing like it's nobody's business.
Yeah,
I've seen you do it. I've seen you do it.
Drift,
yeah. So very good car, and I think I'll leave it off there.
Yeah, I've said everything I need to say.
All right, very good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Bro, these tires are way too grippy. You need something that you can hoon this a little bit more. We need more slip angle.
I see you grabbing for that oh shit handle.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't have anything to support myself. I'm holding the microphone for you.
That's fair. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I hope you join us again soon.
Till next time. Done. Birdie! I guess I'm not gonna end it quite there.
I'll just do a little bit more cornering.
Oh shit. Bonus footage. Yeah! So this is the bonus footage. We weren't really done.
I gotta give you guys a little bit of slip angle through this
That farmer's
video.
gonna be so pissed off. He's like, fuck that sausage car running down that road.
Alright, so done. At last, we are actually done.
Okay, done for real. Ready? I'm gonna do the hand motion instead.
Smell you later, guys.